Welcome back. Today's literary session is Ladakhi folk songs, a discussion between Shree Morup Namgyal, Shree Tsering Sonam, and Shree Ali Mohd, moderated by Miss Namgyal Angmo. Shree Morup Namgyal is a renowned Ladakhi folk singer, dramatist, narrator, folklore exponent, and lyricist. He was conferred with the prestigious National Award Padma Shree by the Government of India in 2004 in recognition of his outstanding contribution to the nation. Morup Namgyal worked on a documentation project of folk songs and Kesar Saga of Ladakh with the Ladakh Cultural Academy. Tsering Sonam is an established folk musician. He has acquired good skills in Ladakhi musical instruments like daman, surna, and ramyan after his years of perseverance. He has assisted in the documentation of Ladakhi folk songs for the 3-volume book set on Ladakhi music with Academy of Art, Culture and Languages in Leh. Ali Mohd is a renowned Surna oboe player of Ladakh. He is retired instrumentalist of All India Radio Leh, and being an offshoot of a royal musician, Ali Mohd has worked dedicatedly in reviving the Surna music in Ladakh, which was once on the verge of extinction, by imparting training to a number of youths. Namgyal Angmo is an entrepreneur with a passion for collecting stories from Ladakh on unsung heroes and women empowerment. She works on translating folk songs from Ladakh. This session is dedicated to shed light on the intangible heritage of traditional folk songs presented by music icons of Ladakh. The speakers are Surna icon Ali Mohd, folk song collector Tsering Sonam, Padma Shree Morup Namgyal, and is moderated by Miss Namgyal Angmo, who will also present a short talk on Dissent in Balti Ghazals.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum and Jule. Today we are again back here with Ladakhi folk songs and ghazal section. I am your host, Namgyal Angmo. I am currently working on translating Ladakhi folk songs, hence I thought I could be a good moderator here. With me are two music icons or musical icons from Ladakh in terms of folk songs. He is Ajax Ali Mohammed, and he is a Surna or oboe player from Ladakh. He is a retired instrumentalist from All India Radio and boasts of recording more than 600 songs in Ladakh, as well as giving his precious knowledge and experience in composing songs for around 300 songs. Apart from being an instrumentalist, he is also training youth to revive Ladakhi folk songs to more than 100 youths across Ladakh. So I won't speak much about him. He's an icon himself. Next to him is another music icon we have, Ajax Tsering Sonam. He is from Basgo. He is the main contributor of the 3-volume books of Cultural Academy folk song books, and he is like a multi-player, multitasker in terms of being able to play Damyan, Surna, Daman, and especially specializes in Daman playing. Thank you. So I won't take much time and ask Ajax Ali Mohammed if you can play Surna for the audience here and let us know the history and the musical patterns of Surna.
Jule, Nimi Ali Mohammed ngas pitugne teninge Sunne skola nijaran sangma Sunne jungkung buta pikne nijaran junle Surna tai goma jungkung bo yong stenogle skardonele Baltistanne gyal khatune tuzla ngaje mirgut po Surna na po gyal khatunla yu rakta tankani na kuzedu payale yatanye nye skol bo junle Surna pipi choches pole I pipi ngala idu tula nogle tulte tene ikeskada nogju tene skatena yu dikte raga mirakdete yu izuxia nyuga nogale yule ta pipi ringarik po skat po romarik buga nogale I pipi tharik tangna Surna thamorik buga nogale ta Surna ike sastu deonogle Surna sor pedang sumekele tene ike sakchi ayonogle sakdene sastu deranogju tene Surna stas pa onogle bien rgatle Ryat ekene tene ngata lui yang pogang ma ina static gyat pekene buanogle. Tene yu skatena tene stas pa tene suna nyuga no ngerale. Ten goma ngaje suna zoom dane ta yu le ngena suna tam gyat gurchiyo nang ina de testas pozum teno ngena yu stas pozum teno ngena suna zopsera miraksam tele ta yu ale chiktang ata lena ale yu sunang de dugju shamale haribang de dugyale ta yi suna chokan bokona ata skirbu chanang le de na chorugyale tene ina nyera ale ngaje suna kazuga puchen denale suna nga tugina iduga zomchio no ta suna zamchigyo nangerale mi zamchi pitnang iduga denanangle tene test suna chaka inner aspect phonogle saragamang yot kagle ta ina hanma zanenga saragama lapkan mepya yenale te kelenga ja saragama malop sanongela tene ina suna nang daman iska nyampo siksena ayong usano daman suna iska sta chikchi ke dulanogle tene luangle ina damane sikse ke lu mazomna tene madiga nongela mi mani lu gyala tangkan gunle ina suna nang damane ke six po nyante onogele te onya ridame ke te six po na maena yang madiga nogele Tangatai sunena langa yonogle langa sumya tukchu zendigle sunna sumya tukchu otkagle ta sumya tukchi na ngerale maje gyapo khala yaga langa pulpatang lochi kikola te langa sang ka ngerale zerzole ozamchi tantan nga tezamchi shadyu medle ngerale ngaje apogun tegun nanmimi guni langa sumya tukchu khala ngaja ustad kune langa tan chetka pale otege sumya tukchu khala sango set nyenale ozukshi otgale tene jiona ta gyapo langa punla pokam mokam jungdal tatena sumya tukchi na i changma yong du panyerale ta nye jungdale mokam se gyapo ka langa tan chente nye tapik singe nye jana sanche de punenya jungdale pokans position ngerale ta zumzo chichigia mokam zenji gyamo ranga yo pale gyame ranga le yang stak ne zuma ngerale poska moska de kele mokans pare yu gyama phulano ngela ta jungdale nani sumyo no ngela gyapo pheptane sochik taga na yapo teni jungdale pokans pozumano daktale tene dakta uks machada ta no pata busko tangana mangcha ne lo churgu ni shugun lanye pone ganta nge uks machada puska ngela le daksa tanga minute shu chongaring mane tanga uskor nyana mela ngela yuchia junale nyansan pava nokpa gompale tene nyansan na pongaje I phemga zumanolo te nyansan nang sunna daman harip samazo bosanang habuk samale Churches bang ngaji nyampo church nyeran izusia rimboche guna pemga puldane nyansana yapo I pemga puchen beya. 림보체 펩자네 이 랑가 스교트가 풀라노게나레 때다네 북스코레 게만에 잣마차다단 파냥 데맥 처르 빠 잣당나레 또 양아주 식참에 때게나레 우숙시야 불두야 랑가레 다 림보체 스콜라 닥타 펩자네 림보체 풀테노 따따 갸페 펩가 녀나레 갸페 펩가 양 징직 두라리게 오노가나 또양 니산체다 풀리네레 갸페 펩가주 다 갸페 펩메스팅네 니라레 바탐 숨갸 tukchu zenjik snaks chatele ngaje gompa bonale snaks chateman esperamataale batam phavano ngale bagatame sunamane daktamane soso khana nyenale tyo izu shele bagatam sumgya tukchu yang jawano ngale halngale bagatam sumgya tukchu skorboni chi nijana tu 이 양스포 바tam 숨겨 tukchu koram bagatame circa koram logique kolla mane 이 랑가 풀초가만 오면ale 야타타 이스팅 모넬레 녀라레 녀 badui skodik pulenyana badu zena tamma lu chos ponmo chenma gyapo lompo zer kun la mane tyo pulamano ngena badu le izu sietano 유니라레 발루 깅루 주야노가라 데링이 팅이 람잠보통 작상 산행이 람잠보통 젠지글 테네 유마네 팟 림보티아 마네 팟 게폴론 파운라니라 예랑 차가야스페 작장다 젠직 우즈가 루이 circa지 요노가라레 또 하리비나 교노가레 다니라레 칩자레 게포 칩자 장자네 테네 양이 숙시 양시양 땅도 빨리 따다 언디니 두고네 냐라 쪽을 싶으면 각자는 농해라래 이 집장 누군래 이수시했다 농해라래 알라멘 덕분이랑 집장 장산에 된 지기나래 오죽시야 루이 circaoncen이라래 덕다 이 루이 집장 루군 때네 중루 발루 깅루 상망하다 깔자레나래 루 숨야 집야 합야 당시야 이 루이 리카트 포조스르래 때네 양 다다만에 나 저비 예준이라래 다만에 식스포니라래 덕다 루 땅간군에 때네 다만에 식세나 마용나래 माने लू माने तंकन जुमन ngale dakse thugune damane siksena yongches damane skang mane chatma chugate lui siksena yongches ma khakchani ngale dangdeni thugun lale
last question jichingya is ku phulen samara pale ngata ghazal munna yang spoka su so so no junglu sang yang kinglu sang ya so so yo no yang man play
so so yo no ngale ghazal yang kunena turturi no ngale ghazal yang kun mane turturi ngale mane 착찬이요 너는 중리 talgunle mane narchanle mane dal chote tinde dakse ballu ginglu gunyale mane nenche khaspono daman ne tiksenale dakse ye jomera deringi tingilam zambu untonza ton dering dakse nyera gazal gunle gazal turtunena dakse ngata pomemingla fatema derkano izu sieta no kono 이건만 뚜뚜르노 메라데 이 가잘군레 dakse chunang parole ke gulab sigyase derkan tegun sangma i lutang sikchina chanomera dakse barlu ginglu junglu sangma mane soso ka ngeral ghazal gun mane ina nani sike yang sike mane met ka ngeral ta i daksanye lingu kutemiro ga ngeral lingu i chakling bo mane nganme mane pat Ajax gun samane semba kanshala chadane rama chadane I sketbane chap pinstenang I lingu izu pustano mela tenete ina siglu antano me roglu antano mela roglu denata izu si tano panya zanste saljab zenje izu si chap sunana po sketbane pinstenang ये छगलिंग जियो न मैंने ऐसा लिंगु छगलिंग जियो कैसे
ये तुझे चाहिए thank you thank you so to summarize Ajangle's expert talk about Surna so Surna has originated as a dowry gift coming from Queen or Gyalmo Gyal Khatun that is the mother of the golden king of Ladakh Tsering Namgyal and today we find the makers of them in Skirbuchan and Ledo. in Surna, there are 360 tunes, but depending on the situation and the condition, they have different tunings, mostly dedicated to the kings coming, kings going, and dedicated to lamas, teachers, as well as something called Bagatam Sumya Tukchu, which is something as a offering or revering the deities of the domestic households. So that way, each of the tunes have their own specificity and the tuning. And coming specially to the Ladakhi Ghazals, the tuning is a bit more stressed compared to the other ones. In Junglu, or the folk songs, or the congregational songs, the tuning is a bit more relaxed, whereas in Ghazal, it's a bit more fast and rhythmic. So that's pretty much it about the iconic Ajang Ali Mohd, and we are thankful for him, despite giving international and national events. We're really thankful to have him here. Thank you so much, Ajang Le. Thank you, Le.
정말 줄에 당포 룰라 중지got 미스바 룰라 줄지got 스페나야라레 당포라 룰라 중지요 미스바 룰라 줄지요 Juntang julung chen chop gyadyo Zurtang na zur chunga chugniyo Oyo matang lu changme mespo tosli lu inokle Tangpo lu la jung jigot mispa lu la zur jigot Juntang na jung chen chop gyadyo Zurtang na zur chung chugniyo juanokyo Tai jungchen chop gat po kani oska chuna tene ling galam chno kesari tena anyarale galkak chop gat nan ronkak chugniz kanji ondo gajo marang sambao o te kana traste kyonse mena e samjungjo atena tsoglan yarale tene ngacha lina chiot ka juan yampo goma halchorelu tene linglu stodlu chodlu nyopelu tene nyopelu chupdun jot kajo trashis pelu stendel ginglu kaulanga tale chopolu anjurukju chozlu lamlu stezlu barsonelu tena man mangpot ka yan solchot nang yaga dorje zirkan nang tapchung patma tang progar la ting tang mandilir dobdan ziratsos ngerale tena tsogla jabrelu stotpelu skolu tenes matlu zetingerale O te sangma tene jungina yon kayaleta. Ta jungina ginglu kao inokzena tene ginglu lingalam chenno kesari rungsina. Tene na binkani lu sangmala kao ngata turgyun daksang salazada no juski pongo zanale o te unla tene ginglu jiruga juspe na yara ale Nambo tayang malalang spa O chiramju luxele Ni segunda malatamba Zambu lingbo o disankya Zerkan kun O yun kinglina yon chenokju Taina yerale tene siglu kyonlu gullu junas nganba Mingbo na shingme par la lour demo yon toga ju kong sewa tang yashes ko la ju ena tola pralu diwan yalinginar gyanglu tene ghazal tene tola yera ngata skin lule te tsongosana tene zutum chugnis bo o to shina yon ju tene diwan zerkan munyara kazuk yon la oni zera yampo Yang is tateu duk sara tu yang la eshet mitan yang chitanjo Masang kalule yang la kalule darya gang binang le yam sona kalule karama ti pasho yarang me Nalecho Zerkan Yaran Yang Lutz of the Katekatu. Ateo Somasane Sargijik Manamet Karle. Ota Junglu Yang Kamas Kalayot Kara, Zana, 가루 met가 시립 라다가 였가죠. 보다 무릎 남결 결혼해 준로 가지고 올랐으면 라오 저랑양포 마녀랑 알레 나랑 제스고니 라장 코이제스테 원래 일이나 아스케스토주 대낭낭 함녀때 캠페인을 아스케스토주 까베나가 예 매매 이시 삼바 엄마나 루칸 카스파 유죽스도 테네 테카나 만에 매매 차술라냥포 창술라냥포 아와 티자나 이와 차자나 율리 기토 상매나 치테케스파상나 테네 나제테로 팀식때 온천 야랑알레 아 고나 직지 루땅나 양 상마 틱송 때만에 메도클레만 루르바간주 복시게 에즈라노파 루 냠포 땅스땅나 테네 루 롭사나 봉올주 다스간마이나 아탄 다만낭 하리비 시르케가 용체면 얄 코랑 테나 탈라 죽스파 룬단 솔라탄 차치즈메니주 다 dak상아탄에 투즈나 스tunte 다마니스강 다마니시 칠 테나 솔라 하리비 사시카 테네 논테 경고시 마 각자 메주르 포인 땅 루아치 서감 메트 노즈 지아메트파 요테 노글레 서감 메트카니 로직마나 요트 메트카가주 마땅 성코닝 예라 때 고마나 팔라냐라 알레 chigna chigi staden te jinkan zolar taden nospa tezu nyara ale kanjang artade nonkani lui no gele teo men ban yara ale ngata harip jurpa haripo ngata e potpa onesus na juru ngata surna urdis verain karju haripo arabis verain karju tatena chiondu zenatena yang struktu yonokle struktu o molang tene tengenal cho lamnga Galam chenmo smartphone tan la joux cho prasol lamel harnga galpe lamrnga tukchen ergachu ordunu sakin shadiyan sinduri baram metok talaichu hasol hargal bodil harnga yatin warsaki chapol hadar tena tsoglan yara ale mardemorde moano te iun kariot ka zeriampo yun yod no pangata laglen do majano tezana mata meme buli tenen pomo ache setan zerkan bolai sang mashad yudu waju tenna sallallahu sonam dadulla isang mashad yut tenoju ali mamalla isang mashad yut tenoju teo menba mata yera ale dahanu na yera ale bonona zerkan tan me kyono tola toshali zerkan kyono mantana kyono sha nasir zerkan tan mo kyono pale Ota tezana snan me lu kazugo yonspin suikana yonspin o te circa sangma lu nishur sakshi na oste konsankwe chopo problema tanshol yondo waju tateo matanyera ale mardemos perateno darun sonte yateno yang yera laxi yultu mangpo anyera ilugun gasen guden storen yalen yotnang yera ale konsankwe konrang lugun se shunga tsogla we tv tsogla darwang taste yoteno teo sombasana chikchi tina ngata ale laoni kichide Ladakh lu yongchen azrenyampo yongchen chi amayo te kazukshi yongchen zarenyampo tene izukshi yongchen he zete tangyuji hospale ota dang dening yana ticharu uzena nyao baglen choru kocho hospa jikten michozle te chozana temrel bo chi ateru zena temrel bo pene ateru Minnas ganma yara temdel bol lu atanogle. Kore katankani jalial bol atanoju. Skias kakani guldar bol atanoju. Gue katakani gores bol atanoju. Yatena solan yara ngatanga chas rgangos. O te sangma ngatanga tene luxoli kakchigi nokpa shijigi kakchigi nokpa. Sode chane te espera nokpa ngatanga yara ale ser yu juru mutik la rimboche yodio tsato matang laas ko ne tagas no pa otateo taxte du goshisma kachan du palemani nurbu no pa jinlab no pa mutu no pa ingun tak na ngata sken parchot mika yongame jiruajo tateo daksa nyara ales konmo tak duga innang rewachen yongchechane tuzgunina teunla ugjuksen yongchechane tuzgunina matang ses matang lu matang kar prasol yatena tolda matang harnga Yangs, Rolmo, Ramyan, Surna, Daman, Tap, Piangula, Ugjuxte, Teun Yang Lanchik Lax Pavuni Parla, Ma Prodmochan Gurinju. Chiazerna, Kaltes Kong Prodmochan, Magurna, tene skitpo kazu chuen skitpo nam chuen karu zdukpo metna karu ngerale chi chokta ta man senser medna teru daman yotka teru ses yotka teru lu yotka gaju teo songsan ngatang changme yale atena chogla ngata ses bu changma no patale diran folk song ka songsan nge jungli ka mangcha ari jinyale 다 중리나 예랑알레 나랑 알데모 가오서라 zakanje ngeje tiwa choshichin ngale chochen ngman jona kato mieteo zirin yerangle kalar mangi nangle mbyamabu uma sangda tongbari besore kalar mainangle byamabu umiko sang tongbari surmatsore yarang dukpari folongsko linkarnang sergunang dadratsore Zekanilu, atekana yang yoga yong nanyarale. Tusod natin pa. Scardo tinangle changre na asen modia charling chi darolo charling ospola maro ya on se base à la date quoi marché dans ya isragar bozmani tout en gashistance teo somosana on se passe al wilu nga demonstrat nija demonstrna yun salazat daksa matches meten no no mogun chiazara chiazana ngata laxi shirik laskun sinanga ilu tsamalar pecha tukmo sumchosjo temen basna lang skushakta shire gesizat kanet pecha jan yoten no temen ba daksa ngejanga ilu tsangma 상dik 톱제즈노 테나가 양스 metkan kachik yotkarchu teuna yangs mani matobano matoba cheanozana matantsam peskel tansano pa matantsam ke matan dus pasana storchu tansano pa te jase te luz dikpari kachik ngati parna jet sonteno ota yotkan gun teninge sambenate kitabi pocket mina cd ka hui go dance gun zerte yotkarle ota te unyarale almarina rixena mabora yung silazat dang dring minda ngata city fulches pendra fulches no te un ka shulte yarale te un ngata zat na den ba ngata nurbu inoktale nurbu chia de sin la on exernya po ngata nurbu mata ton ale ngata nurbu chi no zena ngata lam lukshol beno ngata shijik po no ngata tak tendel beno ngata junglu gunno ngata ses gunno ngata yans gunno ngata rolmo gunno kagun sontea borna tenis kitpo mani sampena yamsani tikme de skitpo gamo yonchezin wajo otanye teo molangeje skitpo na gamo magos kanbo suyote yamolangare suyote ota gozna ngata Ladakh si lam lukshol shirik startendel nyao parlen jungli cirkagun tugila barazat teun ituzat kwechang tamiruk masam nye mise loks gyurkan bo junglu yin nga ngejang sangme twa deshukan bo oina lu yin nga tonpo na tanser mamo tsukpa nyerang ale mani galara he zen nyerang sangme stotpa tanse nga stospa chukan bo oina lu yin yateo chada nyampo lui kana yongo miruk lui kanne chang miruk pa tukla magonshik lui samshik peneji ngata sanskrit mitang samshik lui tangan nyuksala ngeje kule ka lurik sal nyarale dase nyarale skardo tinangle zikang o ta lurerer gyapna rungzre yotna ngata teo masam junglu nyara kam se kam stongchik na ngapya tukya ngata yotna stongchigir gyapna gyaldab itsteyotno stongchigir gyapna startendel itsteyotno stongchigir gyapna las gyudas itsteyotno yang teo masam ijunglu carrière ti yotkapa 장 빠타메 간지 만 이 중리나 초시 실까만이 망 보였까 옴 트라시스 버 규르식 자kam도 찌르데 미라 아니잘래 잠식일 템벨라 잠시 장포라 되어송바사나 데네 데나냥 데네 냐오 parleni lu da ngatan sanko man met kamet ken gosman met kamet ken go chiezena jiksteni michoshik chuano pa jiksteni ngendel jikjigano pa teo ngera ale koreka yal jiktanse ju benang logic salgu yotna o tateola tener temdeljin kwe tatugu sawotsamo 양차 융창올라 스키토 자체에서 때나가서 몰라몇 가가지고 베네직 땅은 게나 잘로 베네양 teg인가 덴델리 켈라냐라 양스페출라 베네직은 테어상 린차오 데네테레 헤 뇨펠루 덴델리 루창마 용고신 땅고신 각잔 저세 땅고신 저칸보 예자 상말라 조인 다 dak상가 땅아 장왕직이었대노 유티직이었대노 테나 마레와 첸모진 tene I lam rukul tan sheri kanbo khakpo bora atso bora konsan kwa spospa chugatsa yorden ba no ngera taksa tsukpa kaltes sontia I lam rukul tan sheri kun lukseyotna tene ngata sheri klaskun sikatin laino ngata skorian laskun is skorian spamon la tus ka kiton riksala no pa teo man bangya teo jet sospa sangme rang sospa guni katin no ka gunis chiba gansum baser stress tu se lu tu se gancha sale tu se kon se bonte chirial pon la stanche se sundu chano ta kakamet ka chi zano ngera to santa izan ko la jarton tenna mene stan yu dog mi do mola no pa to stan yu medna ngeje kon se salang gari kon azadan singer chucho se kon azadan yacha tung nishu se kon azadan skin nyara sumchuchu sengaja tadazadam miring mor gyachuchu sengaja tadazadam yatena tsolanyara ale köranguni ichos aochos tenyara ale ngaje jukan botsangma tik tik teon chose kyongadam lok gyurches nyara ale zamling iranshesi jiksten halanshesi dijim jongyan chizino ngata la sonla chezerna metemano ngata yoteno baju tujeche
tene 창말라 줄레 tene ngas 드링 예장 한자라 tene junglu hale junglu kere nangati mana tene master chenmegi no hale tene inazu juchala junglu zare ngata mi sama ha gochas po mene ngata yulhu zatu bahale ta Ladakh se yulhu folk song hale innang tayu la jungluzer na mimang lamang ri hagoteno folk song bola daksa jungluzer cha silop chik song teno temane junglu yullui khak chik chik no khale skiot pasanara tene daksa chukpa sherik lobde chuks pana phalla tene daksa chukpa chamsi tene lu ngatai sherik lobde chokna chamsi nyara jade thale te changma tene ngata la samo thopcha sipia I kitab sumbina tene phapcha si tene gan bonga kalazas nistong chukshi lo ale skiot pasanara tene nistong chukshi na ngelaga kitab chuksum leb dep chuksum leb gao kerenang sherik lobde tena ina yotkan hale te chuksum bo kerenang sumina papjas wale nge piamana zapik kakspot pin hale tyo chipia kakspot pin juna chiaz juna ngera ale lorere lo ni ya lo sumba la mireres kitab re dia zatyak skos pasan de kitab munina shu tangpo maispi nijim sonte du hale spena nge kitab chigdina tena kerena stendel sumpa yodna tene yang chichi khongas disiodna khonga tena stendel sumpa yot pasan I kitab pochwala luchik po ten gos hale skiot pasanara lu ten gos tene kitab dikan minda shngayotna suina mana shngakena luchik chigyong do hale sombar yio ten gos skiot pasang nge pia changma sang halna teojin ki changma sang sode chanis pera I kitab changka di chana hale mana kakspoteo song lu halam Rgyabgyanang stew I kitapina ayot hale I changke wala lu rgyabgyanang stew yot kawe nang na lu tukja nang tukchu rangala yang sangyot nyampo CD yot le yang syot haleina skiot pasang iu ma nyun manok le tene ngata yuljong sigi pia lu gyabgya zerna mana spebore mana ster chen me gino hale skiot pasang spera khachan chikteo tene yang spera changma sang khachan chikteo samakni ngata junglu zerna daksa ngata folk song ha gwa chukla inna zugi teola po mang pe kyo deno khaleta po mang pe gyot pasanta tena na po chichiot kya zena stendeli lu junglu jinglu garu gazal tene chukla zanskari lu stodlu skolu siglu jabro bakstoni lu skiot pate chama lu mang pe kya khale tel hu changma ngata ta gazuga ina chiga chospinjana changma sang mangshok jotkan bo ngaja base chose I depo chospinhale spena dep tangpo inokina le shonpo no is shonpe na junglu changma sang mangpo kya janang trangsik nibya chaki sik junglu kya tene testing na tene yang garu yot kya dina jinglu yot kya ya yang lu sama yot kya khales ballu yot kya tene kitab tangpo nispe na ngata base po chicho se zerna nispe na changma sang mangshok po bakstoni lu ale bakstoni lu rjana changsik phedang ni byaget kap tene teo mari tene te kasnan ma yang ngata karje lu zanskare lu yang stot lu zen tena ta set kya tene sumpe na chi yot kya zena sumpe na I marpe na tene jabro yot kya khale tene changma sang mangshok po jabro rjana changsi yot kya tene te ka yang lu jongani shu sumchu yang lu changma kya stot lu ginglu roklu chi yot na hale skiot pasang te song I kitab changkena chil hu yot zere ta luzle I kitab changka chocha sina kabla si chik teo song chi song zena mati mil datpa ma chungsen jara hale ha gwa mena gazuga ngata sta di chana gazuga borin hale lu gyabya gazuga che zena I lu chokdik puang chocha se gan bo pok pasang chokdik cho chana ginglui na ga yong garui na ga yong teo ta khorang so song teo men bayang spera khakchan chik le spera na ta jabro chona hale jabro et kyak mamang po songba song jabro khere nang gazugi ta a nang na phing se yang I kitab po chola demo she shugina borin zerna teola file bo khorang chobgyat ni shu chogos tu hale ta nge gazugi chospin zena khar zarkani chiga changma yotna ta I lu chikchina khar score nang gyapwa stot par na teola khorang chik yar gun stone speed lu yotna teola khorang chik shar lo nup chang yotna teola khorang chik tene buchang arang zarkan ji yotna tewe file ji khorang tene nomonga zarkan ji yotna teola file khorang jose tezui tene nge chiga jose tene de kana kyongse tene khaspang nang stune tene galhu ga ginglu no ya stodlu no ya bakstoni lu no stendeli lu no te changma tene ti se tene ina thun jose hale changme pocho jose tene phul te mana I dep sumbo kherna ma zabmoyo thale skiot pasang tene ta lu sale daksa jangle Ali Mohd molkan nangjin hale daksi zbalung tantan lama kaxpo nang tene mana gingchan in jadu hale ma gingchan in jadu hale kao kherenang ngata mangcha shamchok gun la ta thale mana shamchok la ging chilo jadu zbalu mamang potang chan ta ko balti nang nyemo somba purikpa ngun khorang baltipa nguni sang tang sen khale sperna shakar chiktan ngun zere daksa dargo ngun zere I kuksho ngun zere deru ma lu mangboyo deno tene nyampo ballu nang nyampo tene bakstoni lula tsapik sosoduk haleta kazu sosoduk zerna shama kerenang ngati namlang siskarchen zerkan bo mana tamenukle namlang siskarchen ilu kerenang ngata stot la tang senok garu kerenang tene changma sanghan la tene rolyans pangunis kerenang namlang siskarchen zuma zarada no tene nyopangun bakstoni chigeka langsa chizerchen chomika jangsa jangs tene kaltel hu chachang katangna ganta sum ji tene gore no khale skiot pasanara Oteo kerena shama taminu shama bastoni circa jir demo dugzena shama kerena tallu mamang potang dukale tene tallu na tiwatilan mamang podeno tene daksi chisa zgolu darung mayam sa shama tang seno inang ati gen khorla chapik nyam stok tene teo kerena ngata manyam skongpel nang nyam paso shut zat goshas bo tene mouse pe junungni khak duk samte tene teo jugo khakchan rakhale taas kyo ju stendel ilhu hale ta stendel ilhu gazuk dukzena ngata chi skap shigin nang hale chi tu shigin nang ga ka khere nang hlu tangat na teka gozuk po stendel ilhu nang zachas po mana ngati yang ma stendel chanjik the khale nga stendel jig ju de zere tene stendel ilhu na gozuk tuk tene nispa le juk po chinas duru gyuna trashi spel hunas duru khale jungal huchi nang chitana tang eni juk pike khena trashis phapse zere tene trashis pel phule tene I hlusak tangcha siksole deno khale ta tena chogla damani yang ma sna mangpo yo deno khale I hlungna rangrang e damani yang zo deno pa tene ote damani yang spina daman chopol hu zarkan bo daksi zballu la juseno ga zballu yang spola chopol huang zadu khale chopol hu chinok zena tene damani yang chikchiga chopol hu zere dene chopol hu zere zera no khale tena chogla tene damani yang mamang poyo deno kawe na tene ngatang changma sang halasha spera nang changma sang chakpo tene ngata spalngam chan bo chidu juna ina tene ngati damani ridam gun hale ngati damani six gun mana den misheshas dukhale ga kherena ha go mana denena nup se dukchas mene mana deana mana tene binchal ma ka kho charu tanga ta teono tantan la tene sargam mashes kan bos base ode damani six gun chapik hop sala ka kho charu hop tene mar demo mar nyakshan tene Surna tal jo ameda hale ngati damani six ponang tene damani skat po tene sur bonang tal bo zom te mana samye mi khepa ngati ang yodeno ngata teo samecha duk pa Ladakh si jungli na ata dedam si yoda he sam kan chosi ngati tene yang spo mana samye mi khepa duk something ye jun samte samara khaleta daksa ngatang changma I junglu sala no ya baktoni lu sal na ya jabro sal na chi sal na Ladakh silu sama yu ngaja stangchamen ya ngache hulla izuk chiong chan azuk chiong chan molkan jik molwa teo mana mamola lu gayot na ngatang Ladakh spel hu no tene lu changma janga jat rangrang yuli lu bora jat teo menok ki teo mabor jate mari yang innang al lu changma hale rangrang janga jat il lu changma yu shammel hu ginakpa yu stotpel hu ginakpa yu changtang pel hu ginakpa mazera hu tang na kerena hu mana demo nang mana jimpo nang hale mas nyakshan nang tene gala duk something ye teo samara hale ta I dep changka nang nyampo tene dep mun nang nyampo ika chiga city nyampo deno tene suka de depo nyonang tene I city na kerena hu changme yang jo deno khala rere nang rere tene mana kolchas pong mal hamocho se hula serial number tang se kyak tena o kerena I nang kena serial number no kaka ngata click jonang tena hlu chap tene ngata tangchas teo mana changma sang demo yo thale tene ta il hu changma ngata thale I hui depo zat sana tene nistong chubji loa kerena ilhu ngata drupte binga zadeno tene nistong chukshigi loa nga yu trot tene nistong chukni nang chuksumi phechik chukpa yula gor hale tene chokdik chochaz nang tene chidercha niang sak recording chochaz nang tene teo men ba khorang typing chochaz nang tene lu mangpoyot kan theba kan pinchaz nang tene yang ina changmena dang kitab chuksum bina metkan snancha si phe kerena tene lo nis thaldik tene sherik lob de gorteno skot pasang ta Chinang men nang ngati laga mana sterjik ma gyale khale ngati ngata tene shamstot parsum zanskar nubra ka changme mana lu tene mangche halam yodeno 다 이나 스페라 각찬 지직디오 이 뎁 창케 죽과 양스 마톱 저카니 데네 각지요 할래 양 마톱 포테 피해 주센 가자 대자낭 가자 데네 카스파오니 데네 밍문주나 아발레 무룹 남갸 데네 아장레 알리 마맛 데오멘바 아장 tsiring stanzin 데네 약믹 앙축문 데네 소남 rolmangun 데네 tundu biangzingun 데네 콩창마 스교데 일훈 자츠나 데네 콩창메라가 디 양스포 당강 시사메 디비 양스포 하마고 저파상 강우니 양스포 케레낭 마톱테 창망아지 죽바당셋 따테 돈탁포테오 메노 케레낭 양 미눅 제레레 양 요업테노 데네 스페나디카 누브렐 휘교드나 teola nubra pezegi laga ya yang zoet sichano ya dangica skot mathupkani tene lusalkan ya tene nasoskyotkani tene suka yuksetna tene ajangle anele su yuksetna te changme laga I yang jode no khale innang tene ngaje te chana yang juaje yang juspin tene suka di laga yang jodo ya suka di laga I depina machutkani lu yotna tene thukje zade kelna sherik lobde sala za juse ngaje juspin hale tene ngarewarak tene mangyung salang saledro teo menbang tene ngang tene yang lu machor kande ina met kande ngang topseyot luchu chongaji nyela yot ta ina tezana ngata chapik chiga teo sontole losari lu hale losari lu tan la rangrang yul la lu so re yong wale skot pasang rangrang yul la yot pasanara losari lu tene ngata khongses dum se ina salgo shaduk tarung masala no khale losari lu chi ginshik mena ina met teo chia met ze na te zana tene losari lu changma rangrang yulla tangcha sik somba sang chikta losar bokhorang nyam songton wale losar si marsis pasang lu sang nyam songton tene spena demene chushot la choklam sa tena chokla bazgoa ya tene himi shupa chalna skirbu chalna te yul khachiga daru mana gyala base losar sinjigyo den khale skot pasana te yul munina lu yodeno tene teo men ba mana changma sayang chakpo ngara chiga do chararak tene lu rugus chik du khale nyepe yulla nyale kal hun mana yang soso hale mana losar puris kabla tangchas du tene teo nang nye tene di se yang nang nyam po tene kyongse yot tene yongchasani I chige na yongchasani I debi edition somena tene nyejarang changma te losari lungunang tene zikshala thopjano skot pasanara tene nye teo samarak tene ngata mauspe hale mauspe ryudzin munis mauspe junungunis tene ilhungun jangse tene ngati ilhungun tene sontea borchas tene ngata tarungang lor gyangi gyatsos tene genla kerchala keno jununguni ma khak chenmono samte tene teo samarak tene juli samala tuiche.
Thank you, Ajahn Tsering Sonamle. So to just offer a brief and a precise English translation of his talk, he talked about the 3 volumes of the book published by Cultural Academy, and the problems when it was started, how did the project take place and all that. So there were around 5 people who took initiative to compile a book like this, and to be precise, there are around 810 songs in the 3 volumes, out of which 665 songs have complete melody and tuning in place, and the remaining ones are still yet to look for the tunings. And it has Junglu, what he talks about is the folk song, folk as in people, but he clarifies that is just part of a genre of part of the village song, Junglu. It's just a genre among the various Yullu. Yullu means the village song or the country song. So you can, like any other Western genre of country song, Junglu is also a country song, out of which Junglu is itself a genre. And there are several genres like Stendelu, Ginglu, Jablu, Jabdo, Tsiglu, Zanskarilu, and all that. So all of these songs are compiled in these 3 volumes. And talking about the first volume, it has around 100 songs, focused mainly on praising the kings, the queens, or any great personality. Whereas in the second volume, we have Bakhtunlu, or the marriage songs, dedicated to especially songs sung during Ladakhi marriages. And third volume is about Jabdo, which coming from the eastern part of Ladakh has more rhythm and has more melody. That is part of the 3-volume, and it comes with a CD in it, which also talks about the tunes and melody of each song. In terms of challenges, Ajang talks about is how the classification was a huge challenge because there are sub-genres within the genre, so that was one issue. And secondly, as mentioned by Ajang Ali Mohd, that is Ballu or Chopolu is a genre dedicated to the kings and the queens, which is usually harder than the rest of the genre because of its relaxed nature and it's because of the hard picking up issue. So that's one of the challenges. And Ajang talks about how we need to preserve Ladakhi Junglu for the upcoming generation because it's an unmatchable intangible cultural heritage, which still needs hard preservation, and he also requests people not to say this is not our village song or this somebody else's. Rather, learn all and choose the best for yourself. And lastly, he talks about how there are still more songs to be added in the volume of the book. As always, we believe that books are like a palimpsest. It has to be edited again and again. And in the coming edition, we will have added Losar Lu, or the Losar songs here. And with that, he wishes that all Ladakhi upcoming generation people will have access to folk songs. Thank you. So my topic of talk is Dissent in Ladakhi Ghazals or Balti Ghazals. So first of all, when I ventured on this journey, I realized I don't know the meaning of the ghazal itself. So ghazal means talking to the beloved, or mostly melancholic songs and sad songs is what I believe to be. But then beloved doesn't always mean a love affair or having a romantic relationship. It could be your king, it could be your neighbor, it could be your brother. So something that I really found powerful in this ghazal songs are the voices of dissent, which means that they question not just, they express themselves, be it their suffering, be it their authority, so they question as well as they express. And that's the power of Balti Ghazals. When I was working on the theory part of the Balti Ghazals, I realized that Balti Ghazals, since the partition, we have cut off only Indian ghazal as well as the Balti ghazal, but now it seems like it's a spread out genre in the northern Himalayan region, spreading even to the Parme Norths. So there we have ghazals sung by almost all the people, but again, there are two types of genre which again emerges from the same genre, called the light ghazals and the pop ghazals. The light ghazals is like the literary part of the ghazal spoken mostly by men or taken in a mushaira in a poetic form, whereas pop ghazals even have women in it. I'm going to focus on the pop ghazals coming from Ladakh, specifically from the book published by Cultural Academy. That's my source, and from there I'm going to pick few songs and bring it out to you. What are the dissenting voices or the themes in those books? So before delving into the Balti Ghazal genre in this, I would like to throw light about a bit of its history of ghazals itself and how the so-called the Baltistan movement has actually contributed to spread of production and socialization of the Balti Ghazal. So I won't bore you much with the theory part. I've picked and choose a few basic songs which I found the best for myself, or rather, which I could understand being a new generation Balti Ghazal listener more than a singer. So first of all, there's this song called Pomi Mingla Fatima, which talks about how she is exploring the arena of poverty and everything. Okay, so I will sing the song and I'll translate each para for you so that it'll be easier for all of us to understand what dissenting voices are there in this song. I will need the help of this book because I feel that I'm still not trained enough to go without a book. So here it goes. Bumi mingla Fatima pandilla ya jadet sangdangi chaskolen marpe gulab. Bome mingla Fatima pandilla ya jadet sangdangi chaskolen marpe gulab. Yulgo na yuljuga gulaba chuzalet gulaba chumato marpe gulab. I'll translate before I go further on. So here the song says, my name is Fatima and I clean copper pots, which shows her social class. And she says that sangdang ichas kolet marpe gulab. Sangdang is not sandalwood. Everyone, I used to think it was sandalwood, but no, sangdang is a wild herb out of which the roots are brewed for tea. So she's saying that because of my poverty, I can only afford having the root tea of a grass, and I'm brewing that. And after that, she says, from the beginning of the village to the end of the village, Yulgona Yuljuga Gulaba Chuzalat. I have a rose shrub in my garden, but I'm not able to find water for that. Now here we bring out the caste subtleties, because being from a socially outcasted background, she's not able to access the village resource, which is the water. Further going on, we have Appa har das nayot kaka shingo nayot chocho chamshin nayot marpe gulab. Here she says, my father is in Hardas, my brother is in Shingo, and myself I'm in Chamshin. So this talks about the geospatial differences, being a beggar, being a bard, how she's been separated. Despite being a family, she's not been able to be together with her family. This is my favorite para, which I time and again sing everywhere. This is Kyorang yuli tasildar ngashars goe zamindar chibaha se hukumyon marpe gulab. Kyorang yuli tasildar ngashars goe zamindar chibaha se hukumyon marpe gulab. There she talks about authority. She says, you are the tehsildar, you are the head of the village, and I'm a rustic farmer. Shazgo zamindar, I'm a rustic farmer. How do you think you can manage to rule over me? How do you think you can rule over a farmer like me who doesn't have anything to do with you? So there I found the point of dissent, coming from a marginalized women's section in a Balti Ghazal, and that was fantastic. So that's one song I found really, really powerful in my journey of understanding Dissent. Apart from that, we have more songs which also talks about the dreams or ambitions which people want to fulfill, being in that social class, being in that section. So one is called in Ladakhi we call it Jamila, but in the book it has been kind of made into a different, it is compiled in a different manner. But apart from that, I would like to sing just two of them so that we understand what are the aspirations, in terms of the material aspirations of those people. So we have, it's called Kakas Kom Sarak, or we call it Jamila. Late da gunbo kyung ka kinomo Late da gunbo kyung le Jamila ngatang sin moyula thukpa chen ka kinomo ngatang erga moyula thukpa chen le Jamila. So I'm going to translate with that. So Late Dagon is the silk scarf, and likewise she aspires for cushion degrees, which means the brocade with the dragon print on it, and so on and so forth. She wants to have the a kapsha, which is the local shoes. So these shows the aspirations through songs, how materially they also aspired for the best quality and the finest things, and yet they could only achieve it through songs. Now, before I end before the conclusion, I would like to just draw on how Balti Ghazal also bring upon the women domestic ideas and how they were not being able to come out of it. In this regard, I have one song called Stagol Kazang Separi, which basically is talking about how she is not able to move beyond her everyday domestic chores, and her house is full of copper, she's rich, but then she's not able to go out. There's one particular stanza in that which I personally found very, very deep, and that is, so I'm just gonna sing it before I keep rolling on the pages. Stagueka zangse pari jongsani na yotle goetle gulabi nge kabula jo ngapo morning is pachalna dang tapik mo jare othe gulabi nge kabula jo. This stanza is focusing on how she has copper pots in her house, and yet her chest and her thigh is bound by domestic chores, and she cannot move beyond that. That's one stanza. And the second stanza, which expresses her problem and desire, is Puminang danda kungi hahanang sumsak tangidli gulabi ngi kabunang jo ngapo morning is pachalna thage chima phabin yotle gulabi ngi kabula jo. In this, she says, my friends, the people whom I know are having a happy time outside, and yet I'm here bound by shedding tears of blood. Basically, she's putting her blood, sweat, and effort in making a home, making a house, and yet she's not allowed anywhere. So we always consider dissent as something questioning the authority, but sometimes I feel expressing your own suffering is also part of dissent, and that's how it is. And now, at last, I would like to dedicate this song as this song talks about who started ghazal, who spread the ghazal. And in this, I would like the assistance of, I would request Ajang Ali Mohd and Ajang Tsering Sonam to come together to conclude this session with this song, the ghazal of Ngazyarang La Zirve Sharvingima, which means the sun I call you, or you being the center of my universe, how I address you.
Najala sirve sharvingi male dunsa siayas las memendo pola zimazerele esninglara me geneshos morisho las memento pola zimazerele esninglara me geneshos morisho Ghazal pinkan bosi parazale sawal bakan bo munshi ali Tzigala go kan bo Ladakh sinaju Esnginglara me geneshos morisho Tzigala go kan bo Ladakh sinaju Esnginglara me geneshos morisho.
So the two stanzas we just sang talks about how, yes, you are the center of my universe. And here, please let's not confuse with a lover or someone. Here we're talking about the people, the folk, how they are the part of society and how they are the center of everything. And still, lasme metok pula zir maziriotle sningla rang mejeniyotle shosmorik shok. Yani, despite whatever we do, don't eye on things that are really eyed by everyone, because that will give you a heartburn. Shosmorik shok, as in it's at the trope, like shosmorik shok, it will happen. And the finest para of the entire session is Ghazal Pinkan Bo Sipa Razakle. Yani, the person who started Ghazal is Sipa Razak. He must be a soldier, that's why he's called a Sipa Razak. And Sawal Chokhan Bo Munshi Ali, Sawal Bakanu. The person who questions things, the person who doesn't let the status quo get into him is Munshi Ali. Munshi is an accountant, so Munshi Ali is the person who questions. And last me, 6 Ladakh Sinachung. Now, I being a woman, it feels hard to translate this, but it says that women are always on the verge of misunderstanding things rather than understanding. So, there's always a heartburn behind everything. So with this, I hope you enjoyed our session today. Thank you for joining us with traditional songs, and let's preserve it for future.